Hello, beautiful human. Thank you so much for clicking on our interview with Alesso. Good man, talented, human. He's going to share a lot of stories, drop a lot of knowledge, and we're going to go into his new music, how he creates his art. Remedy, that is the single. It's out now. You got to watch the video. Directed by Rudy Mancuso. It's awesome. We get into that too. We got a lot to talk about with Alesso. Please leave your honest feedback in the comment section below. We have a podcast, link in the description, and it would be really cool if you subscribe. Okay, enjoy.
Let's do this. Zach Show.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Here?
That's Gary going right there. Hey, good to see you.
You too, man.
We probably met at a radio room long time ago.
Yes.
And I did go see your show at the Greek. Maybe not the last one, but definitely a show of yours at the Greek. It's pretty sick. You can get in that corner, get comfortable. Put cans on if you want, whatever you want.
I'm so sorry I'm late.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's LA.
I'm still not used to this LA traffic. It's like trying to understand. In Sweden, Stockholm, we have 3 streets. You know, here this is like next level.
Yeah,
so.
do you even need to use a GPS to get around Sweden?
No, I usually walk there, yeah. Yeah,
That's
walking.
good.
I have a car, but never drive it. Yeah.
Well, okay, being here in the States and obviously working here in the States a ton, what do you learn from America?
You have the best like hospitality ever. Like you guys are so nice when it comes to like helping people, no matter what it is. It's so different in Europe, especially in Sweden.
Really?
I have to say that, yeah.
Wouldn't
like,
think that.
Yeah, shocked a little bit.
especially in LA, like because LA, I feel like you can get anything done at any time. And that's why it's like hard to leave this place, because you get used to it, and then you come to Sweden and everything closes at 7. You know,
Which I understand, and I think here in LA, people just have a lot of money, so they can buy things, whatever it is, at no matter what time it is.
True.
Because they can afford it. So it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it definitely makes your life very comfortable. Yeah.
Remedy, that is a single. Congratulations. man.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
It's good. Like, you're with Connor Maynard. He's doing the vocals on it.
Yeah.
How does, let's start from the beginning. Who writes the record with you? Does it start with production?
So every song is different for me. This song I think it's like the first time someone sent me an idea that I've never worked with before and was just like, whoa, what is this? So it was already called Remedy, and it was one of the writers, Jake, that sang on it. And I listened to it one time, I'm like, this is really good. And then I was on tour in Europe, and then my manager played it again. He was like, take a listen to this song one more time. And I listened, I'm like, shit, this is really good. And so I asked for the parts and started, working the whole record for like, I think a couple of days in Greece, actually. So that was different too, to like produce a record in Greece for the first time.
Do you set up a studio wherever you go usually?
So I have like, today it's so easy to have like a producer, just speakers, laptops, and, the few analog gears that I bring, and then just set it up, yeah.
How does it get to you? Does somebody like just cold reach out to your manager? Does somebody like DM you?
Yeah, so most 99.9% of the times I get stuff, it's not for me. It's just like, I prefer rather be in the studio with someone and you can still work online, but just like the idea always starts, from something you've been starting together. This was like complete strangers reaching out to me that I've never met before. And they just nailed it, like with the whole lyrics and stuff, and yeah, it just felt right.
What caught you about the song?
There's a line in it that he says, "Loneliness is my disease." And I feel like I can relate to that. I think a lot of people can, but I can definitely relate to that because, I'm 27 now, so, I've been singing now for a couple of years. And when you travel this, it obviously gets lonely. And, I'm a sucker for love, so I hope someday to find someone, and that's what caught the it sounds cheesy now when I say it out loud, but but it's it is. I say, of course I want to find a great girlfriend, to also show, this whole lifestyle I'm living, but I think that's what really caught my attention with the song.
But work's made you more lonely than ever before.
What?
Work has made you more lonely than ever before?
I guess, yeah. I mean, because as great as this lifestyle is, there's a lot of lonely hours, hotel rooms by yourself, and flights 10, 15 hours, so you lose a lot of hours you could spend time with friends and family. Yeah, I mean, but I'm not complaining, but maybe one day have to slow down a little bit to prioritize the relationship.
So, okay, you get Remedy. What form is it in? Is there any actual production? Is it an acoustic song that you hear?
Wait, say that again?
When you first get Remedy.
It's a very minor production. So what I did is they sent basically all the elements, the stems they had, but I removed everything. The only thing I used was the vocal.
And why did you want to recut the vocal?
Because I thought this demo was good, but I wanted it a bit 10 out of 10, and I worked with Connor before, and he just has incredible voice, and it's really hard today to find male vocalists. I think there's more great female at the moment, in my opinion. So he was just the first one to crush. I'm like, I think he could crush it, so I called him. He was in London, I think, and I sent him the song, and I said, do you like it? Could you cut it yourself? And he, that's the great thing about today's songwriter like Connor. He's not just a singer. He can produce he
does everything.
He knows how to be in a studio by himself and cut his vocal, tune it, and stuff like that. So it makes my life easier. And so the song was honestly done in 3-4 days.
Wow,
nice.
Wow,
power of internet.
It's but. Human connection, but lack of human connection, because you mentioned that most of the songs you make, you're with another person, you feed off of that energy.
Yeah.
How do you when you're producing to it, how do you duplicate that energy, or do you just get lost in the lyrics?
Well, I think it's the combination. For me, it's always the combination of the lyrics and the sounds you hear in a song, because I think that's why I have the passion for dance music, because we really prioritize all the sounds we put into it, all the new synthesizer. We care about every element in there, and when it comes to other songs, they might just care more about the guitar and piano, which is fine, but I think in dance music we're always trying to put in and create a world together with the vocal, and that's how you create that magic.
So you started collaborating early on, right? Sebastian Ingrosso, Swedish House Mafia, the dude changes your life after you release your EP.
Yeah.
It's like a life changer for you, and he teaches you a lot.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first meeting with him?
Yeah. So it was actually through his dad. His dad used to go to this coffee shop in Sweden, and I knew he was going there, so I gave him a CD.
Cool.
And he took it to Seb then the next day. And that's also what are the odds that he actually listened to that demo? His dad probably gets 1 million demos every week, and Seb too, but he listened to it, gave it to Seb listened to it right away, and then the next day I got to visit him in the studio, and I was obviously fanboy. I was like, oh my god, it's because the cool thing, and also at that time, I knew that whatever was going on in his world, no one really understood what's going on, and I just had this vision that it was gonna get as big as it is today, so I was just so excited to get into the scene also, but see where it was gonna go with him too, because I knew when I saw his music, I was like, this guy's gonna get huge.
So you knew as a fan the future of the genre.
I believed in it right away. I never hesitated it wasn't gonna be big.
Is that why you got into it?
No, I just loved the music. It became like a drug to me, I couldn't, still today, I was YouTubing videos every day, trying to understand how they DJ, and it was like a whole world, that underground scene that no one had really seen.
You start playing piano at 7, but then later on, 10 years later, you actually produce your first song.
Yes.
Do you remember sitting behind that computer for the first time and figuring it out?
Yeah, obviously, very classic bedroom scenario, sitting in my room, downloading illegal softwares. And
Dude, I used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I was trying to do a radio show from my room.
Yeah.
BitTorrent, bro.
Yeah. No, but I mean, but then I had as a rule, when I say, if I start making money of music, I'm going to start buying these.
And they're expensive, dude. They're like cars.
Man, dude, I had to sell so much stuff to be able to afford. Sold my scooter, sold a bunch of sneakers that I love. I had so much stuff that I sold. Yeah.
All worth it.
Yeah, I guess.
All of it. Do you
Kind of
still?
want that scooter back now. Though. Like, I don't know where it is. I still remember when I saw it was this young guy, and he was like, it was his dad buying it for, and I was just like, just take it, just take it.
Was this like a razor scooter, a moped? What?
It was a moped.
Oh,
but
cool.
it was cool one. Like it was not like a one. I actually spent a lot of money on it. You know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, it's okay.
Maybe your manager will get you one now, like it's a gift.
where is it?
Yeah, we'll put that out into the
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah, come on, man. Help a brother.
Hook him up.
I'm traumatized.
I mean, your life is so fascinating. You get in with him. He teaches you how to DJ, right? But does he also teach you how to produce?
Sebastian.
Yeah.
He was just he became like a mentor to me. You know, he let me borrow his studio every now and then when he was not sitting there, and I would go in there, and then the next day I would sit like for 4 or 5 hours looking what he was doing to understand, you know, how to. It was just like a shortcut. I knew how it was gonna, but I just wanted to know how do you do instant, and instead of have to like watch tutorials or sit for another 10 hours trying to figure it out, you know. So it was definitely helped me learn faster. Yeah.
I mean, could you think of a better teacher?
Oh no, absolutely.
Right?
And he's the funniest guy. You've had him on the show. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. He's like. So you're laughing 50% of the time as you're learning. So yeah.
That I mean, like a dream situation. But all of this has kind of been like a dream. The chance of you handing that CD to his father and him handing that CD off to his son and him
It's a
even
good story.
listening to it.
Well, yeah.
You were meant to do this. Do you think of that at all, ever?
You know, what I think the one thing I had that I really can say with confidence is that I think I have a really good ear of telling what is good. Then every now and then we're going to do I honestly feel like I don't know if this is like if I can I feel like I can judge other people's music very well, but I don't know sometimes what I'm doing if that's the best thing. You know, you always hesitate when it's your own work, and but yeah, I guess, you know, I think there's two things why I'm here. I think, you know, it was just the right time, the right moment. I had, you know, the ambition. I was willing to, you know, put all that work into it, and luck too. You know, I think all these things matters.
It's full investment, right?
Yeah.
Like you gave every fiber of your being
because
to
I've
it.
seen a lot of people, you know, put a lot of time into it, and then nothing really happens. And it sometimes I think if I'd started this, I could be wrong, but I think if I started doing this now, I don't think I would be where I am.
It's too congested, you think?
I just think the ship has sailed a little bit, you know. Or at least if you're gonna do it, you have to really have another kind of strategy of how to reach out to people. Because how many different DJs can you remember, you know, or producers? You know, it's hard, you know.
Right.
What is it, 150 people you can remember?
That's it?
That's like the
I
stat.
think that's something like that. And I think there are more than 150 DJs out there.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's a DJ nowadays.
Yeah, you know.
A DJ.
Just download a software and call yourself a DJ.
Do you still have the first song you produced? Like sitting on a hard drive somewhere?
Yeah, but it would be really difficult for me to put. I don't even know the password to that old computer. Yeah, I was like so paranoid, and I was changing the password every day. I'm like, who's gonna steal this?
You never know.
Now you can't even get in.
No, exactly. So I'm just gonna have to hack myself.
You know, you're talking about sound and how to make impact. You got to reach out to people and you got to do it in the right way, but you can also be doing something completely different, which a lot of people did, right? Sebastian's one of them, Tiesto is one of them. You look through the history of that style of music, it is vast, you know, and they did something. They pioneered a whole new sound. Is there pressure on you to do that same thing as we progress in time? Like, you know, the world will move on from this sound eventually.
Yeah, I think it could be a weakness to be very, very known for a certain sound, you know, because we all change our taste, and, you know, as one day we want hip hop, the next day we want Latin, you know. I think you have to be careful if you get really, really known for one certain sound. I feel like I'm known for melodies, which I feel comfortable in, you know, But still, when I go into the studio today, I don't want to make anything I did that what I would release 4 years ago, you know, because I think you kind of end up in prison in a way, you know, where you're like trying to hold on to something that's kind of slowly fading away, and I think that's just life, you know. You're not gonna, you can't. It's like asking anything. It's like when you had the first. Your favorite pizza spot, nothing's gonna beat the first time you had that slice, you know what I mean? And if you keep coming back, eventually you're gonna be like, yeah, but now, you know, I'm kind of ready to move on to a burger now or something, you know. And I think it's kind of funny,
But it's the truth.
you know what I
You
mean?
only eat pizza, you get tired of pizza.
Yeah, eventually you're gonna start asking me something else. And I think in my case, I love what I'm doing. Of course I love the songs that took me where I am today, but I think what's gonna keep me moving is being open to new genres or just new sounds. And it's not okay, like, don't worry, like, I'm not gonna drop like an urban album, you know, something. I'm not gonna go that far, but of course, yeah, well, I need to have fun too and express my feelings. And maybe I went to Tokyo and I got super inspired by a sound. Why can't I do that, you know?
You're an artist.
I think you know, it's for me as an artist, I always look also a lot what like Michael Jackson did. He always moved his sound somewhere, everything from ballad to rock to you name it, R&B. It was all, but it was still him, you know. But he evolved. That's why you never got sick of him, and obviously he was the biggest artist in our lifetime. But I think that's what made him then.
Is Remedy a part of your forward evolution?
Yeah, it's not the craziest step for me to take, because I feel it has all of those elements. I think you can kind of guess that I always put in. But I'm definitely gonna stick to, you know, making dance music and trying to keep those core melodies. Yeah.
Could you apply, like you said, you're comfortable with your strength being melodies. Are you comfortable because you can apply that, like that skill, to different genres?
That I can't.
That you can. Like, because I mean, like.
Yeah, I mean, I've done like songs in the studio that has urban beats and that I add melodies and stuff, but I just need to find a home for them, you know, because it's easy also to like confuse people what I do, you know. I don't release that much music. This is Remedy's the first single of this year, so. Yeah.
Is that a part of your strategy to limit how much you put out?
I just think I'm sometimes too picky with my own songs. Like I spend too much time overthinking what's gonna happen, like what song it should be. And now I'm kind of getting in the zone. Just I made a lot of records. Now they're just gonna come out and, you know, just have fun, not overthink really.
Will you give your beats and your production to other people and let them use it without being publicly credited for it, like a front-facing
sure,
credit?
Yeah, I already made some songs that are gonna come out soon that I'm not, like, it's not gonna be like featured or less or anything. But in the credits you could probably find it, I guess.
Why is that? Do you want that? Because you're in a position.
It really depends what song it is. I think it's more like if it's for someone's project, then I don't feel like, especially if it's like an up and coming song, then I'd rather like just have the focus on that artist, you know, to have their moment to shine, you know.
Cool.
Yeah, not that my name would, you know, take over anybody. I just, you know, sometimes it's nice to just give your work to someone and have their, you know, journey really.
Because that piece of art can change your life forever.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think for me, it's not about just having a big song that's gonna get me millions. It's about getting the right song, you know, because if you'd give me any pop song today and said, oh, what would you say if this were mine, I would probably say, well, I would love to be a part of it, but I wouldn't credit it as Alesso, because I have a vision of, you know, how my music is, how it will work on my shows, you know. You know, for example, Remedy, when I heard it, the version, hopefully you guys play, is the radio version, but I have an extended version that I knew was gonna like work on my shows, and so I think about those things too.
But when you're creating for somebody else, you put yourself in.
Yeah, then I don't really think about those things, which is kind of nice, you know. It's kind of like, oh, well, this song could be played in the car or, you know, whatever you want. I don't have to think how it needs to be adjusted to my show.
Which, by the way, I love seeing billboards of your face all around town. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I haven't played it in 2 years, and I was just thinking, like, when I'm out here, you know, it's obviously very hip hop, which is cool. You know, when you go to a club, all you hear is hip hop basically. So I'm just like, you don't think about there's people that listen to dance music, and then all of a sudden they just come to one place. And yeah, now we're doing 3 nights at the Palladium.
It's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
The art of a DJ is fascinating to me. And when you were taught early on in your career, like, what were some of the building blocks or like the major rules that were given to you or passed down to you to follow? Because when you're in a position of a DJ, you have to read the room. Like, you need to know people. It's a very much a people-oriented skill. You got to be able to read energy.
1,000%. I think that's the... Obviously depend what kind of night it is, you know. When I go to Palladium, I'm not going to go and read the room and try to play that. Obviously they know that this is the Alesso show, you know, it's going to be my music, new music, rave music. But when you go to places like Vegas, for example, then you have to be a little bit more open-minded, because when I'm there, people there to see me. There's a lot of people also just go there to be in Vegas. So you have to play for 2 crowds there. Fans, but also people that just there to have a good time. Yeah. So that's important, and to read the room, you know, what are people, you know, in the mood for. And you know, when you play a club, I always think about, you know, when you're in a club, less is more there, you know. You don't have to like blast this crazy sound to get that impact, but when you're at a bigger festival, you want it to be a more epic feeling. Yeah. It's very easy things, but I think the number one thing mainly to DJs, to read a crowd, have the right records, playing at the right time, know how to make great transitions between songs. And mixing hip hop and dance music is super hard, so you need to be careful when you do that.
But do you like that challenge?
Yeah, definitely. I do it in Vegas every now and then.
When you listen to other people's music, and you brought it up a second ago, you know, the difference between how you listen to yours and somebody else's, what do you listen for, and how do you break it down when you listen to just a random song on the radio? Yeah,
I think when you start producing songs, you always listen it 2 ways. You listen it as a regular listener, and then like, how did they produce it? Oh, he used that sound. It's like when you get to see behind the scenes in a movie, you start thinking about, oh, there's probably like people filming from the right side. That's probably not a real street. You know, I went to Universal Studios, and they showed me, you know, how they shoot things. They're not in New York. It's here in LA. They may pretend it's New York. Now that's all I think about when I watch it.
Same again.
Like when I watch Friends, I'm like, it's in LA. It's not in
Liars.
Well, it's the worst set too. Nothing looks like New York.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I definitely think about those things. I do, especially when it's a very well produced record. You know. When it's a well-produced record, what do you listen? I mean, is it like?
I
listen. I think I listen to what what challenged me the most. I think when you have a 4/4 in a song, it's tricky to put in a bass line, you know, because you shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't have that much bass when a kick is hitting. So that's why when you hear hip hop songs, it's a lot of bassing, because it's like, but when it's a 4/4, where do you put the bass in between? You know, it's like you need to be careful where you place it, and to find that balance, it could be hard sometimes. And when someone really nails that, you know, that's impressive. Yeah,
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Are there any songs out there right now that you feel have nailed it?
No, I don't. I'll say this. I think Skrillex is one of the best people of doing that, because he just, every time I hear a song he makes, it's like, oh man, I have to start going back to the drawboard and rethink how I produce it.
His brain just works differently than anybody else's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's also like orchestra, right? Like, can he conduct an orchestra, and like he can do like
Skrillex?
Yeah,
he can.
I'm pretty sure I read that. Like, he has the ability to like.
I don't know. He's
it's crazy
super.
shit.
When it comes to, you know, the low frequencies in his songs and the sound building, it's insane. Yeah.
Do you compare yourselves to a lot of the other DJs? Like, there's like a group of you that are like the 10 biggest DJs. Do you listen to them and compare what you're doing to what they're doing?
No,
No?
because I don't want to do what they do.
Yeah.
I'd rather listen to the, okay, now I know what not to do, you know,
Oh.
because like Zed has his thing, Calvin Harris has his thing, I want to do my thing, you know.
But what is it like when your thing meshes with somebody like Calvin Harris's thing? Are you nervous for that collaboration? Like, how do two TJs or two producers work together like that?
We have worked together before.
I know.
Yeah.
The song's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
What was it like?
And it was really easy. We did it online. We had an idea, I sent it to him. He wrote lyrics and stuff on it, and then we recorded. I went to London and we recorded with Theo Hertz.
You have songwriting credit too. Like, you have a songwriting credit on "Let Me Go," which would you say would that be considered your biggest hit?
I guess one of them, definitely.
Yeah, "Heroes" is up there.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you.
Which song of yours changed your life the most?
I think Heroes, because it was the first big pop song I really had, you know. And the funny thing with that song, I didn't know it was gonna be that big. It was one of the songs on the album Forever, and that came in almost last. And I was like, oh, this is a nice song, you know. But I guess, you know, it turned out differently. Because when I played it to the label, they were like, oh my God, this should be the first biggest single, you know. I'm like, what? And, yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, I guess. But it's also, you know, I didn't start making dance music to make hits, you know, that for example, that song is a perfect right song for me to become big, you know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like still when I play it today, it works. It still works in my show. It fits, you know, what my night is about, you know.
Your artistic integrity wasn't sacrificed at all.
Exactly.
Has it been sacrificed? Has the journey continued from there?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, for example, Let Me Go is obviously very different if you compare to my other songs, but that's what was exciting about it too. It was a 4/4, but I'm even singing in that song, you know.
Oh,
the
nice.
drop melody, that's me singing, so I feel like I contribute a lot of my you know, style and sounds into it, so yeah, you know, and I'm happy it got big, you know.
When production starts for you, does it start with you like how? Like, is it you hearing sounds in your head and then trying to mimic the sound so then you can bring it to
it's
the
like
computer?
an orchestra in my head, really. Yeah, so I feel like I can play any instrument in my head. I can't do this, but I can hear it. So, for example, I have a lot of guitars in my songs, but there's a guy here in LA that helps me out. And I tell him, no, play that song. Can you play like this? Can you do what? How do you do that thing? It's weird, but yeah, that's really how I do it.
Do you technically deliver like these chords and these notes, or do you just like mimic your sound to him?
Well, sometimes I play it a little bit on the piano, but usually I have the chords already laid out, and I say, can you play these chords on the guitar? And then I say, no, change that note to a higher note, or then they give me some examples, and I go, yes, or how do you slide the notes there, and you know, so it's a conversation, you know.
So, are you hearing music in your head every day and bringing that to a computer?
Yeah, it's my life.
So you're creating a beat.
It's like you thinking about subjects to talk about it.
Yeah, it's constantly, and I'm always taking notes. So like,
yeah, I do voice notes.
Cool.
I have some really, really awful voice notes
So do I.
that I'm really embarrassed by. So that
not
I like
music.
sing.
Is it you singing, or are you trying to make music like the sounds?
It could be anything. It could be anything from me singing a melody. And like one day, yesterday actually, I heard a song on the radio, and I was like, oh, I recognize these chord progressions. You know how we all pretty much use the same chord progression left and right. You know, it's like famous basic chord progression. And I was like, and listening to it, and then I started singing in my head, and then I took my phone and recorded a melody, and then I go into the studio and lay it down there so I have it, you know.
wow,
Yeah.
cool. How many songs are you sitting on right now?
15 maybe, new one the last year.
15 finished.
Yeah, pretty much.
How many just beats and pieces of production that
I
you've
mean,
created?
that's you know, there's so many new started files that are still saved, and it's just a couple of beats there. But what I usually do is like, if I worked on something that maybe didn't turn out the way I wanted it to be, I'll use some of those sounds in a new project, you know.
Cool.
So like I feel like I'm not wasting my time on something. It could be just beats, you know, or a snare or a kick drum, you know. So I always like to pull that stuff and put it into new project to save time.
With those 15 songs, are you going to release them as singles, or are you putting together an album?
Good question. I think we're just gonna start releasing it and then potentially an album next year. Why I say potentially, because I don't want to promise and then it doesn't come out. You know?
Do you feel like albums are dead?
In a way, yes, because it's not the same. I mean, I'm talking about physical albums. Remember, you bought CDs?
Yeah.
That was the you know. Now it's just a couple of numbers on a playlist, you know.
Yeah.
Unwrapping those CDs.
But
again,
I mean,
memories.
I think the real music lovers go through albums, but also I feel like there's not that much time anymore to listen to albums these days. I still haven't listened to the Drake album. I haven't had time.
Well,
But
that's
maybe it's
also
because-
really long.
Yeah, what was it?
It was
40 records?
Yes, that's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he's amazing, don't get me wrong, and I should be listening to it, but I just haven't had time. So I think maybe our lives are a little bit more stressful and we don't have time to go through an album, or it's so easy, you know, to get new records. Before, I remember when I bought like a Robin Williams albums, I think like back in 90s when I was like 8 or 9, I had that one album and I was listening to it the whole summer. So I kind of had forced to get into like the others, or you start liking a song later, you know.
It's all you had.
Yeah.
That's it. And now, I mean, there's nothing but options everywhere you go.
Exactly, and it's hard to, you know, keep track with every songs that comes out. But it's positive too, you know, because I feel like it's easier to put out your music out today. You just upload it on SoundCloud or Spotify or
But
YouTube.
because it's so easy, it's harder to break through, like you were saying before.
True,
right?
true.
Anybody can upload a song.
Yeah.
And unless you're doing something crazy different, or you've like beyond mastered what's already in existence.
But at the same time, I bet you soon there's gonna be some artist that just did something super plain and simple and it just worked, you know. I think everything comes in waves, you know. Sometimes it needs to be very extreme, sometimes it needs to be very simple, you know. It's just a circle of music. It's always...
Do you have your ear out? Do you have your ear out to other places in the world, listening to people coming up with new sounds? Like,
yeah. I mean, sometimes I just, you know, go through the world of YouTube and Spotify and listen to everything from sounds from Africa now, starting to become really popular. Brazil funk. But I'm still careful, you know, what I put into my music, because I don't want to be, you know, ripping off someone's sound and claim it's mine or I created something great.
and that happens. Like, there's there's a lot of moments in music where you can probably find the kid who created the sound, like somewhere in his house in Brazil, you know, like where this sound originated from.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, some of it does start from little kids. Not little kids, but like teenagers just kind of doing
But
their
there's
own
nothing
thing.
wrong getting inspired, you know, like we all get more or less inspired by everything every day, you know. So yeah, you just gotta have respect for it, I guess.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who came up with the idea for the Remedy music video? Little alien boy meets alien girl.
Rudy Mancuso. So
Okay, really?
Oh, cool.
yeah.
He directed it.
I don't like
Yeah,
that.
he directed, he shot everything. One of the most talented person I know. He shot this music video a while ago for himself, and he showed it to me. He was like, I want to show, and it was one of the best music videos I've seen. So I was like, you directed this, you came up with it? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, if you have an idea for my next one, he just stopped me. He was like, yeah, I have one, and I want to present it to you. And he did, and I read it, and I was just like, you have my full trust, like, let's do it, I'm down. And he nailed it.
He pitched you on Little Green Alien Kids.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy how he's so good at catching your attention in a video, you know. It's how many videos have you watched, and you watch 10 seconds and then you're over it, and he's really good at, you know, just keep you watching it, not, you know, moving your eyes anywhere else.
Is that a new side of the game that you're learning every day? Is like this digital side, right?
Definitely,
bringing your music to life and making it more tangible than just accessing it on a phone or a computer or a radio or seeing you at a show. Like,
Yeah, I think being a part of my new manager, Shot Studios, who Rudy's a part of too.
they're a big deal.
Yeah, it's incredible to see how much they are doing. It's not anyone else. It's them. You know, it's not some. Rudy didn't hire some guys to shoot this and did that. He did it all himself, and he shows it to me and makes me almost want to direct videos. You know, because you don't need that crazy education or crazy equipment to shoot these videos. You just have to have creativity and passion, really.
Oh, were you in the Superman video with like
Yeah.
Justin? Yeah, I thought you were in that
I
one.
did a small cameo there.
Yeah, wait, which Superman were you?
The Swedish Superman.
That's right.
Swedish
Duh.
Superman.
And that even there, when he was like, yeah, he just said like, oh, I want you to like DJ when we're there. Just like as a Swedish DJ, as a funny thing. I say yeah. And then when we were there, we started talking about how we could make the joke funny. So it was nothing like scripted. It was just me and him going back and forth. I was like, how would it be if I kept interrupting you when you tell me to like shut the music off, and we did that, and you know, that's great. You know, it's definitely so interesting for me to see how these guys operate.
Mm-hmm.
What's on the goal list for this year? What do you have your eyes set on?
Just keep releasing my music. I feel like we have great songs coming up. Remedy is a good start, but there's so much more songs coming out, and I'm just excited, you know, because before I was a little bit, like I said before, I was overthinking a lot. Now I'm just like, have full support from my team, and we're just gonna go.
Is that what you were missing before? Was lack of support or lack of motivation?
I feel like I was a little bit too much in my head about things. I think music is one of the most powerful thing in life, but you should not be so worried about, you know, at least me, I was worrying a little bit too much before. I was always, I can't put it on overthinking it all the time. Like, should this come out? Should this one? Just put it out, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works, it works. If not, on to the next one, you know. And I think what's really important is that I like the song, you know, and it is what I want to represent, you know. That would be the worst thing. You put out the song that you're not sure, and someone else like trying to force you into it, and then it flops or whatever, then I would not be able to forgive myself, you know.
Do you think all of that stemmed from your success? Like this idea that you released these records and they had huge success, and there's now more weight put on any release you have after that?
Well, I just think I have a little bit more, I trust my instincts a little bit more now than I did back then, because before I was more like, oh, I hope people like this. Now I'm like, well, this is good. Like, if I have a vision, I believe in it, I should just go for it, you know. And when you're younger, you know, you might not have the best confidence, you know. You're still young and trying to figure out who you are and not to make the wrong moves. And yeah, but now more just like, I feel pretty rock solid on my things, yeah.
27, got a few hits under your belt, a few $1 million.
No, you make it sound good.
Yeah. Dude.
No, I mean, for me, it's just more also about being with the right team, really, too, and have, you know, in the Shot Studios, everyone, it's like a family, you know. Everyone's helping, giving feedback, supporting. Everyone's also honest, but you know. Me and Rudy can go like, oh, well, what do you think about it? I wouldn't put out now. We should do that now. How would it be the sound if you change this? You know, it's very open. No one is scared of like hurting someone's feelings. You know, it's just about saying it, put it in the right way. You know,
honesty and motivation are what a beautiful combination to have.
Yeah, no, it's the best.
And you are the company you keep, right? So when you're around these people who think these ways, you are subject to all of it. You know, you get the opportunity to be around it, be inspired by it, soak it in. It's cool.
Yep.
And the music video is sick. Connor Maynard not being listed on the record. Conscious decision to not put his name there?
We just decided to not put his name because he had another record, and we've been going back and forth on if we were gonna have features on my songs, because it's a whole difficult Spotify world out there. We try not to confuse and stuff like that, but
and he is. I mean, dude, he's on so many. I mean, so many.
So that was
vocal
one
records.
of the reasons. But we just talked about it. He said, "Yeah, no, that's fine." He was super cool. He was like, "Just keep your name on it," and we knew everyone's gonna know that was him anyway.
Yep.
So it's no big deal, really.
He really is cool as f***. Like,
Yeah.
he's,
No, he's hilarious too.
Oh.
I've known him for like 2-3 years. We have other songs coming out too. That's for him, where I'm not gonna put my name there. So
Yeah.
I'll be giving it back. You know?
But like Goosebumps, because he really deserves that. It's been a while since he's had his own like hit and his own
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah.
I really, he's a good person and a talented motherfucker.
Yes.
Who's a better looking DJ, you or Calvin Harris?
What a question.
Is that even a question?
It's so you're
Yeah.
saying you?
Okay.
Obviously.
No,
I mean, look at that smile.
we're absolutely too different. He's like British, Italian, Swedish. How can you even compare?
That's a good point.
And he's also like 6'7". Like,
Yeah, come on, man.
big dude.
I mean, that's just height. I'm asking who's the better looking in the face.
He's very good looking. Okay.
Hey, just want to applaud you re-releasing one of your records and giving it to a K-pop group, EXO's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was sick. You kind of.
He did a cover on Years. Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's big. I keep getting tagged on Twitter like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "What's going on in,
What about
in
you now?
South Korea?"
Music
Yeah.
is global.
Yeah, no, and that's it's this fun experiment, you know, too. And he really liked Chen, I believe his name, really liked that song. Yeah.
Maybe another Grammy this year, next year, in the near future.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, just keep making music, and we'll see what happens.
Nominations don't suck, you know.
No, yeah, I have one. No.
I know you do.
Yeah,
Ryan Tedder.
Yes. But yeah, Grammy. Hopefully. So if you're watching this, Grammy, I'm
The
in mine.
The actual trophy is sitting in front of a computer right now.
Yeah, I got the tiny medal.
Yeah.
Give me the thing.
Yeah, right?
Remedy is the single. It is phenomenal. It's a great record. I can't wait to hear the rest. A date on next records?
I think it's gonna be November, sometime in November.
Huh. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, soon.
Okay. Wow. What else do I need to cover? Madonna likes you. That's pretty sick.
Nah.
I was on tour with her
Yeah, she
a
called,
while ago.
She called you one of the best DJs.
Yeah, crazy. She's yeah, mind blowing to see how she still runs her whole tours and business and everything, and it's just very inspiring, really.
What do you learn from that tour?
It was the first time I got to play in front of a crowd that was not prepared for dance music.
Yeah, not like drunk 20-somethings going there for a purpose.
because yeah, even if it would have, you know, yeah, exactly. Even if you go to a club that mostly people listen to hip hop or something, you play dance with people still, you know, there was just like a big question mark in the beginning. But then I learned how to kind of like warm them up in a way, and how to like talk to them, play what songs, and so it was towards the end of the tour that it became good, you know. In the beginning it was like, whoa.
But that really does change your creative perspective.
Yeah, and it was a huge challenge, you know. It's like probably the biggest challenge I've had as a DJ, really.
Wow. Any thought in your mind like Madonna's gonna come to me and be like, "Yo, the crowd's not reacting the way I need them to."
No, she's the opposite. She's like, you go and show them. You go and show them. And I'm like, all right.
I will, Madonna.
How's your dad doing?
My dad?
Yeah.
He's good. Why?
I wonder. I mean, he really, why? He's the reason you're here. Dude.
Oh, my dad.
Like, cut the crap.
How's your dad?
You're on tour with Madonna. You got billboards
Oh, my dad.
everywhere.
No, he's great.
Jesus, you should thank him.
I've never had that question. How's your dad? How's your dad?
He's fine.
All right. No, he's great. He's
The only thing my dad helped me
back
get.
in Sweden.
Yeah, but like, does he look at your success and watch all of this?
Yeah,
and,
he's
like,
very supportive. We send like updates on what's happening on Remedy, and he got one sent the other day, and he just called me, and he was like so proud, and just he can't believe he has like a musician in his family, because he used to DJ when he was 21 something for like a year or two, and you know, I have an uncle that plays drums, but no one really like pursued a career in it. No, in not even, you know, way back in my family. So I'm like the first one, and I think he's just like excited that we have that in our family.
How's your uncle?
Oh,
He's good? Okay, just checking in.
still playing drums.
Oh, you're still playing? Cool. I just want to make sure.
It's really cool, okay? And I can't get over the story of your dad being the one who gives, your CD over to Sebastian. That's sick.
No, it was Sebastian's dad.
Oh, he gave it to Sebastian's dad, but your dad.
No,
you
gave
did.
it to Sebastian's
So what
dad.
you meant to ask, how is Sebastian's dad?
I messed up.
Sebastian's dad is.
Is he okay?
Yeah, no, he's great.
All right, cool.
He's good.
Remedy, watch it, and the music video is sick. Any other questions? Anything else on anybody's mind?
I don't think so.
Cool. Thanks for hanging out, Alesso.
Thank you.
You're a
That's
good
awesome.
man.
Thank you, you too, man.
I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.